Dear JetBlue, I took a JetBlue flight for a ski trip. I was standing up at the top of the mountain. I wanted to hit this jump really fast so that I could get a lot of distance in rotation. I landed on my head, dazed and confused. I kept saying, I flew JetBlue here. I flew JetBlue here. JetBlue had left a serious impression on my brain. I couldn't remember anything, except I had flown JetBlue. I think I may be in love with you. Sincerely, Graham Gullins, Boston, Mass.
Dear JetBlue, we recently took a family vacation to Florida.
And we arrived probably at 1 o'clock in the morning with 3 small, very tired children.
When we tried to check into our hotel, they wouldn't take us that night. And out of nowhere, we heard a voice from behind us. Go ahead, take my room.
A superhero in a JetBlue pilot's uniform who sacrificed his room graciously saved our night.
And we slept like babies.
Thank you, JetBlue. Sincerely, Nancy and J.C. Stein, Darien, Connecticut.
Dear JetBlue, flying JetBlue is like being in your living room preparing for the big Sunday of peace and quiet. You're in your favorite chair, you have your remote control, and you have all the luxuries right in front of you. You got your food, the TV, music. You got everything. It's the perfect situation. JetBlue. What else could there be? Sincerely, Tyrese Benberry, BK, New York.
Dear JetBlue, the first time I flew you guys, I was getting on. I was like, oh, look at me, I'm in row 2, I must be first class. I actually said it out loud. Look at me, I'm in first class. The flight attendant was like, oh, honey, everybody's first class here. And I just thought, oh, I like them. They're all cheerful and nice and funny. And I think every experience I've had has been, pleasant in that kind of way. Sincerely, Vivian Bertman, Seattle, Washington.
Dear JetBlue, I boarded my flight at the Buffalo airport when I suddenly realized I left my brand new iPod in the rental car. Freaking out, I tell the crew, I said, I don't know where my iPod is. Can you help me? She said, I just got an iPod too. And I'm like, yeah. She took my number. She said, everything's gonna be okay. From that moment, sprinted down to the rental car. And before we had taken off, she had given me a call and said, I have your iPod. I've never experienced anything like that. It was amazing. Sincerely, Brian Burke, Glendale, Queens.
Dear JetBlue, it was a normal Thanksgiving Eve for me. Little did I know it wasn't going to be so ordinary.
It was time to propose to my girlfriend, and I thought of no better way than to do it with JetBlue.
I boarded the airplane and put on my headset to watch some television.
We were about 15,000 feet, and the captain turned on all the lights.
I thought they were about to start beverage service. And then I heard my name over the loudspeaker asking me to stand up and face the back of the airplane for a special announcement.
And that was my cue. I got in the aisle, started walking up to the front of the plane, got out the ring, and asked her to marry me.
The whole airplane was ecstatic as the captain came on, said so.
Was it a yes or no?
We screamed yes, so that was my proposal.
It was just a great experience.
Sincerely, Eric and Natalie Mearsap, Boston, Massachusetts.
Dear JetBlue, we flew down from Newark to Fort Lauderdale. And while we were down in Florida, I realized that our return flight was scheduled for Sunday at 1:30, right in the middle of the Giants game. So we get to the airport, they let us board early to get our family situated. We turned on the TVs, and the Giants game was on, and we were really excited. The flight was one of the best flights I've ever had. My hat is off to JetBlue for that. Sincerely, Mark Edelman, Short Hills, New Jersey.
Dear JetBlue, I recently took a flight with my 3-year-old son, Jack, and there was a big snowstorm, and we weren't able to go on time. So we booked a later flight so that I wouldn't have to spend a lot of time at the airport with a 3-year-old, which everybody knows is awful. However, when we did get to the airport, they gave us pizza, there was a live band, there were drums and a sax player. Of course, my son was dancing. I was dancing. It was a great time. It made a horrible experience really nice. Thank you very much. Sincerely, Ann Wachtel.
Dear JetBlue, let me tell you, I wanted to not like you, if only because everyone seems to love you. I got on a flight with a pen and paper waiting to take down every irritating detail. 2 flights later, I was staring at the same blank piece of paper. You've done nothing wrong and everything more than right, if that's possible. You have legroom to fit a giraffe, and your staff was the perfect amount of friendliness. JetBlue, I wanted to not like you, but it can't be done at all. Sincerely, Melissa McCall, Portland, Oregon.
Dear JetBlue customers, I try and fly on our flights at least once a week. And when I'm aboard, I like to introduce our customers to the flight attendant call button. And I say it's okay to use it on JetBlue. We actually encourage it. Whereas on other airlines, you'd have to have a child throwing up all over you before you would ever push the dreaded flight attendant call button. Because they'd say, "What is it?" Then they'd turn it off and they'd say, "What is it?" At JetBlue, we relish the opportunity to serve you. Sincerely, David Nealman, founder, JetBlue Airways.